Welcome to the Be That Healing Girl podcast. And today on this episode, we're going to talk about why you keep mistaking your anxiety for intuition in your relationship. And this is really going to be a great episode if you tend to get your gut confused and you just really honestly have no idea how to tell the difference. Or maybe you feel these false alarms and hindsight, or maybe even in the moment, you're like, okay, is that my gut? Is that my instinct, or is that my anxious attachment? Like, how do I tell the difference? And overall, it just feels really difficult. It's really confusing, and you just have a hard time being able to tell the difference. Then make sure to save, send, download this episode, subscribe, all the things. And I think this is a really great topic. I know it's a really great topic, and especially because what the impact it has on you. Okay. What is the impact? And it's, first of all, just not a way to live. I know this from experience. It can feel really exhausting and really tiring because you're spending so much, just feels like energy and tension trying to figure it out in the moment or even afterwards. You're just feeling tired trying to figure out the math problem in your brain around, okay, was that my anxiety? Was that my intuition? And it's just confusing, it's exhausting, and it's just not a way to live. So if this particular topic of is it my anxiety or intuition really lands with you, this episode, of course, we're going to give some major points and some big picture takeaways, but in the Healing Girl Gang, which is my community, we break this down step by step. There's so many pieces that I include in the community that make it seriously a bit of a no-brainer to understand that from the way the whole process I lay out in the Healing Girl Gang is. So let's dive into it. My name is Claire, by the way. If you're new here, I'm a relationship coach and I love helping high achieving, high performing girlies who are climbing the career ladder. You got that corner office on lock. You have some letters behind your name. Maybe you have a PhD, MD, something like that, or you're working on it. Or maybe you're a bit of a real estate or entrepreneurial whiz, right? You got doors, you've got digital products, I don't know, but you are crushing it in your career, but you are also crushed with anxiety in your relationship. And it feels really confusing because on paper, everything looks really good, but in your relationship, it is basically like crippling anxiety. You are reading every single text, every single time there's a delay in communication, you are freaking out. And if that sounds like you, then sweetheart, you are in the right place. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if this episode or any other episode is landing for you, then hitting the 5 stars in Apple and Spotify means so much. It is literally your high five to me. If you haven't done it yet, then this is your opportunity. I know some of you are listening to this back to back and binging this on your hot girl walks. So take a moment, do it. Thank you so much. Also, if you are hearing my congestion, I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bug, so that's just true too. And I also want to start off, I've been adding these into the format here, which is I just want to give a quick shout out to my client who, wow, she is just so special. First of all, she came to me when she was really in a pretty toxic relationship. And not only was she in a toxic relationship, but she was definitely experiencing some health problems, specifically cancer. And not only has she beat cancer and she's officially in remission and she's getting off her treatments, but she's in a really good place, feeling really secure. She's navigating some super hard things, and her mindset, y'all, is on lock. It's on lock. She is navigating some really tough punches with an incredibly positive attitude and loving herself and feeling more secure. So why? I love you. So proud of you. Just keep going. It's an honor to be next to you in this journey. So quick updates too. I've been on a search for new sheets. And if you even remember, if you've seen my Instagram stories, I had holy sheets. I literally was taking off doing the laundry, and on Craig's side, because he's a bit of like, love him. He's a bit oily, like his skin is just naturally more oily, and his body oil was like breaking down our sheets. Granted, these were sheets from a place that doesn't support my skin color, so I'm not going to buy from that company anymore. But I saw that there were some literal holes, guys, in the sheets. And I put this on TikTok and people are like, it's his toenails. And honestly, Craig has probably the best feet slash toenails. I know this is like a really strange thing. I'm not into feet. I'm not into feet, but Craig's got really great feet. And he has takes really great care of his toenails. Anyway, it wasn't his feet. It was actually just number one, the fact that he's a little oilier. And also, I didn't think about the highest quality. So I was like, that's it. I'm only buying the highest quality. I'm really coming to grips with the things and the products that I have in my life. I believe I'm really starting to not just believe, but invest in you either buy it nice or buy it twice. So the sheets are a great example. I have some new ones from this great company. I'm still rolling around in the sheets and trying them. But honestly, all I want to do right now, feeling a little sick, is like to go into the sheets, like to go to my bed. So I'm going to give them another week, see how they hold up. If there's any pilling, give them a wash, and I'll update you on those sheets. And I also just want to say this. I speak about this often, but I do not F around. I don't fuck around with my self-care, okay? Period. If I want to show up number one for my clients, which is a high priority for me, also top priority for myself, and third, for Craig, for my relationship, I need to take care of myself. Period. End of story. So, what I've learned, even in looking for sheets and what feels good to me, I don't fuck around with my sleep. So, I need to feel good in my bed. I go to bed early. I want to get good rest because that all adds up in how I self regulate. And that, if you know, you know, I don't mess around with that. So, I'm really starting to see, oh, I actually should really invest in the highest quality sheets as possible. So, I found a great company. They're not like, I have looked at other companies that are more, you probably see them under your FYP or on Instagram, but I found another one and they're really high quality. I like basically how they source their materials, how they make the materials. More on that to be continued, not sponsored, but maybe they will. I don't know. Long story short, listen to your yum, and I will just tell you, like, all I want to do is get into that bed right now. But let's dive into if you keep mistaking anxiety for intuition, okay? And I just want to go over like an eagle eye view first. And there's a couple of things that for me, in my experience, I thought it was helping, but it was actually making my inability or it harder for me to actually listen to my anxiety versus my intuition. And the first piece, when I look back, that I know is going to help you is mistaking the voice that you hear. That is it anxiety? Is it the intuition? Mistaking the voice for anxiety. And a lot of times, if you are hearing your inner voice as the anxious perspective, it is going to feel very urgent. Okay, it's going to feel like I got to figure this out now. I got to have an answer now. He's got to text me back right now. It's going to feel very urgent. It's going to feel frantic. Like, I just want to make it better. What can I say to make it better? That's often your anxiety. It's also going to be very demanding. Okay, he better text me back right away. Or why hasn't he texted me back? He's got to text me back right away. I'm just using that. That's like a very common thing to be concerned about. And a lot of times when we are mistaking, the first kind of piece is understanding when you mistake your inner voice from the perspective of anxiety, it's going to create a reaction inside you. So when you are doing that, you're going to come from a place of reactionary and think about how this is going to feel from the other perspective. Would you want to be in a relationship, or how do I say this, involved with interacting with somebody who's in a reactionary state? Probably not. So when we tend to listen or mistake our anxiety, it's going to feel, again, urgent, frantic. It's going to be very demanding. It's going to create some kind of reaction for you. And we want to learn how to respond and not react. Again, this is something that we go step by step in the Healing Girl Gang. So a key piece to when you're listening to anxiety, okay, when you're listening to anxiety, the first thing, and a lot of times when you're in this pattern, listening to your anxiety, reacting from it is a pattern. When you're listening to the anxiety, it actually reinforces that pattern actively, okay? The very reaction that you want to heal is you're actually, when you're listening to it, when you're reacting from it, it reinforces that pattern actively. Now, active is a keyword because I'm going to talk about something else in a second. And why is that such a big deal when you're listening to that anxiety and it's reinforcing the pattern? It's important because we tend to act from that place of fear. So I like to think about this. If we're reacting from a place of fear in our relationship, this is like even the cutest, fuzziest little animal, like a bunny or like some of you are anti-bunnies and anti-rodents. Okay, little scared animal, puppy dog, fuzzy, cute little Pomeranian. If they are scared, even if it's super cute, super fluffy, all cute little puppy, if it's acting out of fear and it bites you, right? That's not like, that's probably going to make you, ooh, I don't know if I want to pick up that animal, right? And that's kind of what's happening in the interaction when your partner sees you reacting from fear and you're mistaking that intuition for anxiety, okay? So we act out of the fear. And again, when we are coming from a place in our relationship from fear-based action, so it may not even be you're biting their hand, right? Or starting the fight. A lot of times, like biting the hand can feel like starting the fight or getting irritated. But when we are doing things, for example, our anxiety, we're listening to the anxiety, we're operating from the anxiety, we're reinforcing the anxiety. We do things like checking their phone. Gosh, I know y'all, some of y'all are checking the phone. I'm not saying I'm not judging you, but like we don't want to do that. Or we're checking our response. We're looking for the three dots. We're waiting for the three dots. So when we're in that space of constantly listening to anxiety, we are or acting from a place of fear. We're doing things that are out of character for us. I like to think of this as let's say that you're a security guard, okay, right? And the alarm is going off, or you know the alarm is going off, okay, danger, danger. And you're walking around the museum and you've got this special room that's got the diamonds in it, and you jiggle the door, okay? You're just checking. And the alarm goes off because the door is jiggling. That's literally what happens when we're mistaking the anxiety for intuition. We're trying to listen. We don't understand that jiggle of the door is literally what sets off the alarm. And we go, see, I was right. I was right to be on guard. I needed to be watching and I need to be warned. And guess what? You're jiggling the door. The alarm's going off because the door is being jiggled. And guess what? The alarm works. So it's a bit of this vicious cycle and pattern when, again, you're not listening to your intuition. You're mistaking anxiety for intuition. You're acting on it. You're jiggling the door. And then that's like rinse and repeat, right? Like, let's just say that, rinse and repeat. And when you're setting off the alarm, one of the key things that we go through in the Healing Girl Gang is then how do we actually, first of all, disable the alarm, right? Or how do we even just dial it in so that it's not so sensitive, right? That the alarm, that like you can jiggle the door a little bit, but it's not going to set off the alarm. Or maybe I'll just say this, you don't even feel the need to check the door because you're feeling so solid. You trust the locks, you trust the safety system that it's not even going off, right? So again, we're breaking this down in the Healing Girl Gang. And honestly, this comes up a lot. This comes up a lot in my comments and the DMs. And while I have full understanding and knowledge that this is a pattern that you can break down, it's also something that I really understand can be really confusing and really hurtful. And it takes a lot of nuance. It takes a lot of willingness to listen and having a process really to understand that. So that's what I have to say. If you keep mistaking your anxiety, there are some really key pieces. Like, is it urgent? Is it frantic? Is it demanding? Are you listening to it and then acting from it? I mean, this is all kind of in a bit of a cycle and a bit of a pattern, and that's what we do in the Healing Girl Gang. So when you, and the last thing I want to say is that I'll just speak for myself and also just clients that I know that I work with, is that when you actually learn how to disable the alarm, to fiddle with the dials so that it's not so sensitive. Like, this is like also like a smoke alarm. Like before, when we were traveling in the RV full time, our smoke alarm, basically Craig had to disable it because I would make tea. I'd make toast and not even burn it, and it would just go off, and Murdoch would be crying, and it would be so horrible. But learning how to dial in the alarm so that it's not going off for no reason, and you actually can understand why it's going off and turn the volume down, essentially. So that's my insight. And let's go into some Healing Girl Gang questions. And so one of the cool things besides the masterclass training where I teach you the what and the why, the implementation day where I literally teach you the step-by-step process and the how, the action taker toolkit, like all these things are included. I also love to answer some very specific Healing Girl Gang questions on the podcast, along with the coaching that you get inside the training. So Rose says, my boyfriend only calls me at night, not during the day. My family thinks he should call me to check in during the day before he heads to work. This has me quite anxious. Okay, so a key thing that I'm seeing here, Rosie, is that you said my family thinks. My family thinks, and I'm actually curious, what do you think? What do you think about what's going on? Because if you're getting this external feedback about what somebody should or shouldn't do, they're not in the relationship. Period. End of story. And while I understand that your family is precious to you, as most people's families are, not everybody's, but we have a special relationship with our family members, they're not in your relationship. And so I want to zoom out a second. So is your partner, is he really committed to his career? Does he want to grow his career? Is his career important to helping provide a stability for a future with you? Is it important for him to feel fulfilled in his life, that he focuses on his career? I'm going to just say this straight up, how I see it in my relationship. I loved that Craig was so focused on his career. He was a teacher, okay? First of all, I would be so sketched out if he was texting me during the day, call me on like prepping for his classes. Like, what? No way. That to me would have turned me off. Like, I want him to be so focused on his career, present for the people that he's helping. Like, I'll get to you later. And in fact, I even though we had many ups and downs in the beginning of our relationship, I personally, in my relationship, never felt that he needed to call me in the morning. Now, everybody's different. Like, are you long distance, and like what's going on with that? But you only put 2 sentences, and quite honestly, I don't think it matters that much, but I think it's fine. Like, we all have things to do. We all have things to focus on. I hope that you are focused on building something amazing in your life with your career, or with your passion, with your art, with what you're focused on. And it's fine. Like, I in fact think some of the problem with what makes our anxious attachment worse is the illusion that we need constant communication. That is, I'll just say it, it's dangerous. It is not normal. It is not healthy that we are in constant communication. Okay. So that's my take on that. First of all, who cares about your family? What do you think? Get a bigger context. Is he focused on his career? Is he trying to build something? And lastly, honey, what are you doing, right? Are you sitting around waiting for his phone call? That you're centering your life on him? Turn the focus back on you. What are you building in your life? How is your partner adding to your life and not the main focus? Okay? You can do all those things. I guarantee your anxious attachment will feel much better. And you're in the Healing Girl Gang. We're teaching you how to do that anyway. Make sure you come to the calls. I don't think I've seen you on there yet. No worries if you haven't, but I would encourage you to show up for yourself. Okay, angels. Sending you lots of love. Mwah.